Greetings, sports fans. ASMR Sports back in your business. Today we have some actual sports-related content for a bit of a change, and we will, I'm sure, soon find out why I'm doing less and less sports-related content, folks. We have a USA Baseball Stars and Stripes baseball card box, mega box, that I picked up from Target. I can't remember how much this was, but I bet it was probably like $49.99, which is probably a bit cheaper than the average mega box these days, just because these products tend to be kind of low rent, low dollar operations, particularly for things that have 3 autographs. But a lot of the autographs in these USA Baseball sets are pretty lackluster, since vast majority of players in a product like this will not end up having much value. However, usually in these USA Baseball sets, which feature players from the USA Baseball program, and that can include players from the top national team, which are typically the better college players that end up being very high draft selections in the forthcoming Major League draft. But they could also be some like 15-year-old kid who's playing lower down in the program, and maybe okay now, but has a statistically very low chance of ending up in the draft. So that's kind of the mix of things here. This is 2024, I believe. Maybe it's 2025. Yes, 2025. It says right there. And I have no idea who the chases are in here. And I'm guessing it's more likely than not that I won't actually recognize the chases. So we may have to look things up to have any sense of whether there's value in the cards that I get, the autos. So we will see typically in these USA Baseball products. And by the way, I also have from this year like some H2 hobby boxes that I got from my distributor. Those were part of an order I placed to basically buy like a certain required amount of stuff from them in order to get a bundle of Pokemon cards that I wanted. So I bought, I don't know, 5 or 6 of those H2 boxes, and have not opened any of those, but those I think probably have 3 autos as well. And I think those go for about $40 or $50 right now. But so we definitely have like a mega thick pack here, right there. Probably has a jersey card in it. So we got 6 packs with 10 cards each, so you do get a fair number of cards in these things. And my recollection, at least in prior years, is that in addition to the autos, which are frequently numbered, you also are probably going to get a bunch of numbered, non-auto cards, with the caveat that like just about nothing is worth much in this set. Even of the better players, it's just not a set that collectors seem to ascribe a ton of value to. Alright, Javorsky Lane Jr., so this is some kind of parallel, but doesn't appear to be numbered. Noah Spalding, same kind of parallel. Also parallel. Kyle Walker. I mean, they do try to spice these up as much as they can, given what they're working with, which is a lot of guys that nobody's ever heard of. Appears to be a blue parallel or aqua, so a ton of parallels in here that are not numbered. Nathaniel Davis, rookie Shepherd, and Mason Harris. So he's like 13U, 14U. You see that? So very young. athlete development program, so very young players in these, in addition to like the college level dudes. So there's collegiate national team, and then some 16, 17U. So the collegiate national team are going to be the guys that, you know, probably have the most potential to get drafted into and make their way into the major leagues. But even the guys that get drafted, you know, the average draftee in Major League Baseball is unlikely to see, very unlikely to see MLB service time, just because there's so many, you know, kids drafted and very few spots on those MLB rosters. So just statistically, most will not make it. Eli Willett's 18 and under national team. And once again, a bunch of unnumbered parallels. There's Malachi Witherspoon. Aqua-looking Austin Coleman. And our first auto is going to be Nelson Keljo. Sticker auto, and it's a collegiate, which is good, but a pitcher, which is bad. Bradley Rallo and Ethan Armbruster. That's quite a name for a pitcher. So yeah, this is looking like it's not numbered. So probably very little value here, but we will hopefully be able to find that. This product has been out for some time, several months at least. So, you know, there should be comps on these singles on eBay to help us figure out what any of this stuff is worth. RJ Austin Jr., Brennan Cyber, Nolan Schubart, Coleman Borthwick, Kyler McCage, Kyson Witherspoon, Brady Marietta, Jason Spray Jr., youngster, Junior Lopez, and Hunter Harrington, 16-17U. Okay. Henry Ford, Quentin Young, Andrew Jimenez. Sometimes I do wonder, you know, if you should buy some of this and put it away. There's a red, like, wave kind of parallel. Eli Willits, let's see if that's numbered. It is numbered to 249, so quite high numbering on our first numbered parallel. Sometimes I wonder if, you know, you should put a bunch of this stuff away, because it, you know, it can certainly be had for quite cheap. You don't want to buy it at Target, because I think you can do much better buying this stuff, you know, online, on eBay, or some of the big discount stores, like discount hobby stores like Dave and Adams and Blowout and stuff, because, you know, it tends to be a very low demand product that they buy just so they can, you know, get allocation on better baseball products. Here's Ethan Holiday, I believe that's Jackson's brother, and, you know, a half-decent prospect himself, so not a terrible card. I mean, got an auto, that would be a great auto to get. But yeah, since you can get this stuff for cheap, and because it does have players that are so young, like 13U, 14U, I feel like it's possible that if you you know, if you get an auto of like a 13U star and they go on to you know, play in the bigs and they do really well, like that would be their earliest card by far. I would imagine, like, you know, could be like 5 years earlier than their first Bowman cards. So you'd think there could be some value, but I don't know. I don't know if that's ever happened. I'm not sure when they started making this. I think they have been making it for, you know, 15 years or so. But I might be wrong about that, so don't quote me. But I don't know if there's any, you know, very early cards of established, you know, stars, major league players, you know, when they were in USA program as a, very young player. So maybe it's already happened, but maybe it hasn't. Steel Hall. So this is 16U, 17U, so a very young player. Not the youngest in here, but he's looks like a position player, maybe an infielder of some kind. Dylan Hottle and Ezra Essex. So we have 2 of our autographs. We have 1 left, and the last pack is this like super thick one. So maybe we'll get a jersey card, or it might just be like a fancy thick card that doesn't have any memorabilia, but does have the auto. In any case, we should hopefully be getting an auto in here. So there is our super thick card. It does look like it's a card, not a spacer, but remains to be seen if it has a patch in it of any kind. Alright, Luke Armijo, Collado Coca, Jared Grinlinger, our red, Malachi Witherspoon. We've seen his name a few times, and that's going to be number 249, just like the other one. So I believe the 2 reds that we've pulled are the only numbered cards. I'm kind of hoping this thick card is numbered. Giovanni Aguariglia, 1617U. Tyler Canast, 1617U. Cruz Adams, 1314U. So very young player there. There's that Malachi. Where is that? Alright, so I think, okay. Alright, well there you have it. So, unfortunately a pitcher, but, maybe this is a card again. This is a 13 or 14-year-old player. And maybe he'll be the, eventual superstar, number 1 pitcher for a major team and do really well. And then, his Bowman cards aren't going to come out until he's probably drafted at like 17 years old. So that's like 3 or 4 years from now. And then sometimes you don't get a first Bowman card until you've been in the minors for 2-3 years. So his rookies could be, 5-6 years away, or his first licensed cards could be 5-6 years away, and this would be that much earlier than all those cards. So I don't know. Could this ever be worth anything? It would be better odds if he weren't a pitcher, but he is a pitcher. So, and this is numbered, so it's numbered to 199. So yeah, I don't know. I've opened a few of these USA baseball products in the past. In fact, I think I used to have a couple of like ones from 2019 or something for sale on my site, hotcardboard.com. Because I remember, sort of packing those into orders in the last, few years. People do buy those things. I don't think I have any USA baseball products right now in stock, other than these 2025 ones, which I don't have on the site yet. So, if I did, I might go back and sort of look at the checklists of some of those and see what could possibly be hiding in there. But, yeah, again, I don't think I have any. So this will probably be all the USA baseball I have at the moment. Curious to know if you guys have opened any USA baseball packs. I remember, like, I used to see, like, in, Black Friday sales and other kind of, like, big annual sales, that places like Blowout Cards do. I remember there was, like, a USA product that was, like, I think it was, like, a retail hanger, jumbo hanger. It had 2 pouches of cards, and then, it hung from a retail, hook or poster, whatever you call those metal things, where hanger boxes hang on. And those things had, like, I think 2 autos in them, and they were selling for, like, dirt cheap, like, I don't know, $5 a piece or something. And that was quite a while ago, so those were probably from, I don't know, 2017 or so, 2018. But I never bought those, but I remember those being kind of popular and people kind of snatching those up just because they were so cheap for an auto, for 2 autos. It was, at least attractive as a value play, so I wonder if anybody seeing this, picked something like that up in past years, for like Black Friday sales or other holiday sales. And if so, did you get anything good, or did you held on to them? And is there anybody good kind of on the checklist that maybe is inside the unopened stuff you have if you've kept it sealed? But that's what we got for today, folks. Hope you're all doing fantastic. And yeah, you should be able to get this stuff at the local Target, but again, probably not the best deals there. So if you're interested in USA Baseball cards, I would definitely look around like Blowout or David Adams and see what they have in stock, if not eBay, where I think the prices are going to be actually quite a bit below MSRP. Alright, that's what we got. Thanks so much for watching. I'll catch y'all later. You have a great one. Bye now. Okay, folks, I was putting these cards away and I realized that I said I was going to look these players up here. So here's a little addendum to the video for those who stayed long enough to reach this point. We'll quickly look up these players and see if there's anything potentially of value in these autos that we pull. So let's search for USA Baseball, Nelson Killiu. I feel like that's too generic, but hopefully, yeah, I don't know. Alright, so yeah, I think it's just, there really aren't any comps of people. Okay, there we go. So $1.50 is the direct comp for this card. So yeah, pitchers, not the best. All right, next we have Steel Hall, which is probably our best chance at getting anything worth much value, since he's at least a position player. So that is a numbered auto relic card, kind of like the one that we got of that pitcher. So that's not particularly useful since we do not have a relic or a numbered card. However, this card is the exact card that we have, so it's $14.99 plus 69 cents shipping, so that's actually pretty solid. So $15 seems to be what this card's going for, although here's a $10 one from like the day before this one sold, so hard to know what's going on here. There's a 1/1 patch auto, went for 95, so my suspicion based on these values would be that this guy probably is a half decent prospect, even though he's, 16 or 17 years old. People are kind of planning for the future and trying to pick his cards up, thus creating some price movements upward. Alright, let's check out our boy. Wow, that's funny, it doesn't say his name. Oh, there it is. Mateo. Is it Meyer? Yeah, M-I-E-R. Alright, so there's the non-patch auto card there, selling for $6. So you'd think ours is worth more. And there it is, $11 plus $1 shipping for the exact same card. Even the patch looks exactly the same. So safe to say 10 to $11 is what this card is worth. Actually, there's a base, just a non-auto card of this guy going for. Now wait a minute. Interestingly, I mean, I guess these guys are playing like high school level baseball, so the pitchers do hit, but this one has him hitting, and then the one that I have, which is this one, has him pitching. So kind of funny. I guess that's probably pretty common with players this young, that if they pitch, they also hit, and probably pretty well. So yeah, there's another sale from May for $11. So this is a $10 or $11 card, and the Steel Hall one was about $15. That's actually, I don't know, pretty good, I think, for these kinds of cards. Nowhere near the value of our box back, but we did, frankly, get halfway there, which is better than probably a lot of products. So I sort of feel like we, did better than average with these pulls. And can't complain about that. But all right, well, hope you enjoyed the pricing info on these cards and a little bit more, I guess, about the relative value of these players. So thanks so much, everybody. Catch y'all next time. Bye now.